the Black Women Heal Show. Hope you got your water, your macchiato, your brewed coffee, ice cold coffee if you want. Y'all hear my baby in the background. We are wives, moms, aunties, everything on this show. So you might hear a kid or two in the background. And we thank you, family, for being here with us at Black Women Heal Show. We appreciate you for all the downloads, the listens, the shares, for telling somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody, baby. We appreciate you guys. We are so excited to be here with you this evening. So we got Cheyenne.
What's going on, my people, my people?
Then we got Sheena.
Hey, y'all.
Then we got Salida y los Dinos. Then we got our girl Ashley.
Yo, what's good?
On 5 out of 5, your moderator, Monique. We here, DWH is in the building, you guys. We are not going to abandon you. We're here for you, baby. And look, you guys, we sent out a newsletter this week. If you ain't on the newsletter, I don't know what you're doing with your life. How are you staying up to date with us when you ain't even on the newsletter? Get on the website.
Because you dang sure listening.
Right.
We watching you listen.
Exactly. Right. BlackWomenHealShow.com.
Catch
Look
those
in the show
analytics.
notes and make sure that you are subscribed to our newsletter so you can stay up to date on anything that we're doing and anything that we may need some feedback from you guys. We'll send out a newsletter, getting feedback from you, getting your input and all those things. And if you're listening today on the streaming platform or watching on YouTube, there's also a link for you to take a survey for us because we want to better serve you. And we want to also continue to build community with you. And so we have a couple of questions that we like to ask you guys. You can give your feedback at the very end of that survey as well. And it's anonymous. We won't know who it is that's filling out the survey or anything like that. So you can feel comfortable and your privacy is maintained as well. So if you could do that for us, we would so appreciate it so that we can get better at what we're trying to accomplish here on BWH, which is let our head down, be ourselves. Be the friends, the millennial aunties that we all need, okay?
Taking up all the lanes.
Yes.
Every one of them. We told y'all in the podcast description. Yeah. We're discussing all of life's bullshit while also trying to stay grounded. But even though we are talking about heavy topics, we're also going to keep it lighthearted. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it enjoyable. It's going to be like a conversation with your homies, with your homegirls, with your homeboys, with your aunties, your uncles, everybody, okay? So, yeah, thank you. We can't say thank you enough, you guys. It means a lot. Yeah, it means a lot to us.
Yes.
And we hope we're making you proud. And if you have any topic ideas, you can also put that in the survey. We've had a couple of guest submissions. People want to come on, some experts like therapists and stuff. They want to come on and talk. We'll see if it fits the narrative for the direction that the podcast is going to go into for the new year. But for right now, we're here to serve you guys. Okay, we're here to be here for you. And so
you, your mama, and your cousin too.
That's right.
Yeah, and make sure you tell somebody to tell some effing body about Black Women Heal Show. We here.
Tell everybody.
Everybody, we here. No matter what your age is, your color, anything. The show is called Black Women Heal. You know, we fit in with everybody. We grew up in a very diverse town, so we can get along with anybody. Okay. So thank you guys again for being here on Black Women Heal Show. In today's episode, you clicked on it on YouTube or downloaded it on your streaming platform, and it's about how we deal with men with mommy issues. And if you're in a same-sex relationship, how you deal with your partner when they have mommy issues. That's a big thing, you guys.
Yes, Lord, it is.
Huge.
Yes.
It's huge. It can make or break a person.
Yeah, throw the whole body away.
Yeah. Y'all know. Let's see. Do I have any receipts for y'all this week? I didn't have any websites I wanted to link with today, but there are some things that I looked up and ways in which we can look out for the red flags and what causes people to be this way and all those things. So what causes people to be this way? Usually they have been abandoned, emotionally or physically abused, unloved or unnurtured. They had an overbearing parent that was a little toxic, a parent who was abused by their parent. So that's a lot. That's a heavy. We don't mean to get too heavy on you guys, but we're going to try to keep it a little lighthearted as well. But, we got to talk about it because a lot of people are going through these things and are in relationships with these people and don't even know it. And they're just thinking it's the norm. That's the part that's scary. Like, you deal with someone who is having mommy issues And because they're having mommy issues, they're really good at manipulating, and they're not even aware of their issue. And then you get into a relationship with them, and you like, oh my God, am I losing my effing mind? Like, is it me? Really, it's not you. A lot of times, it's them. They have their own insecurities and abandonment issues or abuse trauma issues they haven't dealt with and haven't gotten therapy for. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
The suppression is real.
It is real, real.
It's real, and at different levels too, because you
Mhm.
don't ever. It's like when you go and you meet somebody, and it's like playing the video game. You're on level 1. You don't know how many lives you got. You got 9 lives, or just you just don't know. It's like playing Russian roulette. And then it's like that first time something happens, there's we're always talking about triggers. And you kind of brush it off to the side, like, well, maybe they're just having a bad day, or something must have happened at work, and you don't put too much to it because they're still getting to know you, you still getting to know them. But then it's like after a while, if you're really paying attention, if you're that into that person, then when they're talking, whatever they're doing, they should have your undivided attention. Sometimes we gonna miss some shit, even when we're looking at it, it's in plain sight. We still gonna miss it because we can't catch everything. But then after a while, you start to pick up a pattern. Like, okay, there's a pattern developing here. But then once you try to go and talk about it like an adult and communicate, then it's like a whole can of worms opens up. You're like, what the hell is this? I did not sign up for this issue.
And that's like what I was saying, like some of the findings that I was reading is that these people, these persons, these humans, God's children, the universe's children, beloved, don't even know they have an issue, don't even know that they're suffering from mommy issues. And I remember taking a class at HEC for human development, and they speak about these sort of things and the things that mothers need to do to avoid these types of issues manifesting later on. And it's just like the findings said, like they're either abandoned, physically abused, traumatically abused. There's babies out here being sexually abused at infanthood and at toddlerhood, and or being beaten physically or being abused emotionally and mentally. And a lot of times they don't even know that they have an issue because it's the norm for them. Think about your Chris Brown, somebody that watched his mother get beat up on, in the way that manifested with his whole situation 15 years ago, however long it was ago. And then he started getting help. He wasn't getting help before that incident. And it happens like that a lot. Have any of you guys ever dealt with someone like that has had mommy issues?
Yeah.
Really?
I have.
Salida, wait a minute. We got to take a pause. Salida, every time we talk about something deep, girl.
Because I like once for
Is it the same person I'm thinking of? He had that many issues.
It wasn't just him. It was like a couple
Okay.
that I've dated, or they were like officially. Because let me tell you something. All bullshit aside, I think it feels like at times like I've been through every damn scenario that's out there. Like I didn't miss. Was anybody omitted? Not my ass. And I'm just like, okay. And you just chuck it up as a learning experience. But it's like, damn, sometimes we just want somebody's like, yo, 100% good, but we already know that shit's not realistic. Everybody got their shit. But it depends on how you want to deal with that shit. Do you want to shovel it? Can I kick it? No, you can't. Well, can I pick it up with this?
She didn't took it back to like 1990. Kick it. Yes, you can.
But it's just kind of crazy.
I'm not looking at you, Ashley.
That's my song, though, for real. But
yeah, that song just
look,
popped right in. You stupid.
y'all know how I do. But it's like
I cannot.
I'm not.
All right, we back serious again. All right,
yes.
it's just like, it's just life experience. It's like you either gonna let it, like, because nobody's gonna be 100% healed, 100% ready. You know, every level of you, and we've all seen it on social media, every level of you is going to require something different. It's going to open up something else that needs healing. That's something that we've seen all over social media. But at the same time, it's like, how many of us really take it serious when it comes to that? So it's like,
especially
every
now.
time it's like, yeah, because like I said, when you meet somebody
Everybody want to look healed. Everybody want to be healed, and they just go on the gram acting like they healed.
Yeah, looking the part, but they not, they doing the bullshit behind the thing. And it's like, everybody, as they say, everybody's not what they supposed to be.
Right. So do you think that he knew that he was unhealed? Do you think that he knew that his trauma made him who he was?
Yep, he knew.
How you know he knew?
Oh,
he told you?
He not only did he tell me, but I got to see that shit live in like Technicolor, and I was like, "What the?" I said, "Oh, no, we're not doing no, hell no," because it was like sometimes like when it started, it triggered him, and I saw the reaction from him, and then I seen it play out live in color. I was just like, nah. It's just not gonna flow with me. No. The Bugs Bunny, no.
Was it during the midst of an argument when it happened?
Lord. Yeah, it's in the midst of an argument, but it was
all right, let me ask you this. What did he say to make you think that he knew his trauma was affecting himself as a whole man and as your man? Let me ask that. Get more specific.
Two different occasions where it happened. The first one, it was actually really sad, because my family, we family for real. It's not like a bullshit thing. It's like when the kids have games, it's like, okay, who's coming to the game, and we go and support. So when, he came along to, one of the kids' games and stuff, and he saw that, I was there, my sister was there with, her husband, brother and sister was there, and then his grandparents were there. And then, he's sitting, he's looking, and he says, I only thought this existed on TV. That right there broke my damn heart, because I was like, oh my God.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
It's just
wow. It's like an epiphany when you find out that somebody didn't grow up the way or experience the same things that you did. From having loving parents. Unconditional loving parents. You know what I'm saying?
Because loving parents that
made me want to cry.
Still together. Yeah, I did.
Girl, that's that full moon energy, okay?
Listen, Linda. God damn.
That thing getting closer, because I caught myself the other day.
Getting emotional, Cheyenne?
Even today, I caught myself like trying to hold that shit in.
Oh, you was doing the Carl Thomas.
Girl.
It hurts though. It does hurt to hear somebody that you love wasn't loved. Like, to me, that would have been like me living. That's, to me, what men go through when their mother abandons them, abuses them, or anything like that, anything really extreme and traumatic like that in that way. To me, that's completely heartbreaking. And that would be like me not having been by Omar Jr.'s side the 4 months he was in an NICU. Because all I could think about while he was in a NICU was that he was by himself when I wasn't there.
And getting back
his
there.
father wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that truly gave up was there with him. That I just can't even fathom that. Can y'all fathom not being there for your child?
I can't even imagine. Like, listen,
you guys.
If I had to leave and go home, listen, as soon as I freaking unbutton my eye, I'm back again.
Listen,
I'm back in there.
Right.
Cried every day when I had to leave that NICU and leave my baby in there for 4 months. You see what I'm saying? So like, I can't even, you guys, I can't even do it right now. All right, we're going to change it. We gotta change it.
Okay.
I'm about to cry on this line tonight with my libations. I'm not gonna do it. We Black women healing. Yes, we effing are.
Healing and crying.
Right.
I'm such a crybaby now because I had him going through infertility and stuff like that. Like, so like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's one of the questions I had was, are they aware of how their trauma manifests in themselves? And Salida has a very rare case where he knows that to an extent it has affected who he is. And then sometimes I think it's just like on a subconscious level. I feel like his answer was like he knows, but it was more subconscious speaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way he answered
it.
Yeah.
Because that other situation was looking at the fact that that he said, like, we were talking about like marriage and kids and whatnot. And he was so used to surviving and not living. Whereas with me, I'm used to living and, you know, doing both. There was a equal give and take,
Surviving when you had to
balance.
survive.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, you know, he's surviving. I'm enjoying life. Like, yeah, you know, my chance to rapper shake. But
shit, having a good old time.
It was just like, listen, and it was just like when we talked about that because, you know, he was so, I don't think he was scared of, you know, wanting to get married or wanting to marry me. It was the simple fact of being able to provide as a man, to really provide, because the thing was is that he looked at where he had come from, because we came from two different sides, you know, of the track. And I don't really look at that because I'm looking at the person that's here, not the person from the past. So looking from where he came from and where he was at that time, where we were, he was so enthralled and caught up with the simple fact of, like, you know, we both worked hard to have, you know, nice things. Now in his mind, he's like, okay, I have to be able to maintain this, but I had to constantly remind him, like, babe, you're not doing this by yourself. Because I like having my own money, but you're not doing this by yourself. I said, you're coming from a mindset of, you know, from just a one parent household income, where I'm on the opposite. I'm used to seeing my parents work, have money, they talk, they equally help each other out. You know, gender roles, there were some gender roles in the house. However, they worked as a team.
Yeah.
They worked as a team. So, but he, no matter how many times I gave him that reassurance, like, yo, hey, how you doing? You know you're not doing this by yourself, right? You know, if you want to.
Yeah, I resonate with that. I did a lot of that the first 5 years we was married. You know what I mean? Because I told you guys many of times, offline and on the show, that Omar Sr. was in foster care here in the U.S. He wasn't born here. And he's from Bangladesh. His family's in Bangladesh. He has contact with him. If he wants to call his mother, he could call his mother. And he's that man that had mommy issues when I first met him. But he used it as a driving force for his life and not a setback. And that's the opposite of what Salida's experiencing this one particular man that she's talking about. So he can go either way. You know, I feel like either it's going to drive them or you're just going to set them back. And there's times in the past where he will be like, what happens to you? You got people that are going to miss you. People that are going to cry out for you. Literally, that's what he told me. You know, so I resonate with having to help someone.
That's deep.
Understand that somebody cares for them unconditionally. And he wasn't using it as a guilt trip. Trust and believe that.
Yeah, it's deep.
This is like one of those late night pillow talk 3 a.m. conversations. The episode we're talking about with, you know, mind fucking intellectual and all that stuff, you know. Those one of those kind of things. You know, he's like, you know, there's before meeting you, he was like, you know, I just always thought, like, who's gonna cry for me if something happened to me? Who's gonna come looking for me if I go missing? And that's the bottom line. No matter what they do to us, at the end of the day, all they're thinking about is who's gonna cry for me. Shit, that's the episode title. Who's gonna cry for me?
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
That be in tears. We ain't do it. We not doing that.
I'm not doing that with y'all
We not doing
tonight.
I'm not doing this shit today.
You're
You
doing
know
it.
what I mean? But it's unfortunate
You're
that so many
doing it.
men, we already doing it. You right about that, Sheen. Keep us honest, Sheen. Keep us fucking honest. You right about that.
You're doing it.
We already doing it. Sheena,
Facts.
Yes. Excuse me.
Okay.
did you ever? Because see, here's the thing, Sheena, you have already told us on the show and offline personally that you have your own mommy stuff going on, right? So how was it dealing with a man, certain men, your husband is what you call him, your ex-husband. How was it dealing
My
with
boyfriend.
him when you yourself had mommy issues? Was it like a reflection, a mirror? How was that? Paint us a picture, babe. Paint us a picture.
Yes. Him and actually an ex had some serious mommy issues to the point where they really thought that I was their mama. They thought that I was supposed to, still work, come home, cook, clean, fuck, all this other stupid shit. And then when one of them, my ex, I would obligate him to like, look, you're going to be here all the time. I feel like we need to sit down and talk about like what you should be paying because, I understand you have your own apartment, but you're always over here. That's when we pretty much broke up. Okay. So, because I'm like, listen, I done met every woman in your family. I'm pretty damn sure they didn't have no nigga just sitting on that couch, just chilling, or coming over here all the time, just chilling and not handing out any type of money towards any bills. Like, you eating here, you sleeping here, you using the bathroom here. Like, come on. I feel like it's only fair, but it was very trying because you try because you feel like you love them, so you try to work with it, but in the end you end up exhausted and burnt out, and I don't have time for any of that.
Yeah.
Wow. So you had so can we say that you had a less empathetic reaction to what they experienced?
Yeah, after a while, yeah. I mean, well, no, I wouldn't say what they experienced, just like how they treated me because of that. Like, I got the bad end of it because I was being treated like, oh, you have to be, their mom. Like, both of them had parents that was on drugs. So, they never really opened up that deep to really talk to me about what they experienced in their childhood. We never just touch bases on it. I just imagined that it was some traumatic events that happened. But at the same time, I had to take care of me and I don't play about me. So I had to set it straight. I had to create some type of boundaries so I won't be burnt out or, not able to sleep at night.
Sheena, that's like that's the messed up part for you because you were not only dealing with your own stuff with your own mom. And I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries by saying that on the show. Please let me know if I am.
No, you could.
Okay, so you were not only dealing with your stuff that you had with your own mom, but you also had to carry the weight of what he was dealing with and how it was manifesting in your relationship toxic wise, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Because they both had poor communication skills.
And that's the thing. They always had the lack of
very
emotional
closed off with their feelings, unemotionally available.
Second question was, recognizing or knowing when their mother played a part. Like the sad part is knowing that their mother, the one who gave birth to them, whether she gave them up to the system or whether they were taken from her because of the system where they abandoned her child, that the mother was the one who contributes to the toxicity when The mother is supposed to be the one to teach them how to not be toxic. If they're a hetero male dealing with women or anybody.
Yeah.
They may have never been taught themselves. It's the same thing with
you know what I'm saying?
with generational curses.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, not learning, like having coping mechanisms. You know, something that were like a lot just within the Black community.
Period.
You can see it
with a T.
That
Period.
it's not something that is taught. That's like we've always talked about what goes on in the house, stay in the house. Nah, F that. The house is gonna burn from the inside out if there isn't if something is not applied to keep it from getting to that point. It's like you don't have to worry about, you know, the world and society trying to get rid of us. We getting rid of us ourselves, and don't have to be by using a gun or anything. It's happening right in the house. So if you're not taught coping mechanism skills, something that my mom always says, then it's like you're going to sink.
And that's what we were talking about on Black Mirror. You know you can't do that. That's the same thing we talking about. Like, it's we always destroying one another when we should really be coming together as a collective, because people of color and Black people are the majority of this earth. And Cheyenne always say there's power in numbers. There definitely is. It definitely is. And so when we talking about dealing with men with mommy issues, it's like it breaks my heart being a mother of a son, of a boy, knowing that his father and the women around him failed him. I can't imagine being a mother. Me as a mother now, I can't imagine doing that. Like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? And that goes back to what the findings and the studies and what all the therapists and researchers say is that the mother and the mothers can do that because they themselves have experienced it in some way or form or another. They've experienced some level of toxicity. And would y'all say that a lot of the ways that having mommy issues is manifested, well, like when it manifests, would you guys say that they think that who they are and the way that they behave is normal?
Yes. Definitely.
Absolutely.
They don't see it as insanity. They don't.
Cheyenne and Ashley, have y'all ever had a man who had mommy issues like that, to like really to the core of who he was?
I don't really play that, like not in my dating life. Like if I picked up on it, I was gone. You know what I mean? That's not even. I don't have time for like women. Like y'all know how I feel about women, so I'm damn sure not gonna deal with your mama if she's don't have no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? At the top of the show, Mo said something like, yeah, so today we're gonna talk about how we deal with daddy, whatever, men with mommy issues. My short answer, without spoiling the beginning, was 2 words: we don't. Okay. That's it. We don't deal with that. We don't. Like,
I agree, Ashley.
But that's the thing. Mommy issues can manifest in so many different ways. One of the ways I think is what Ashley's referring to when you have overbearing mothers that search themselves in their son's life and has no boundaries. You know, the perspective that I want to come from is the perspective of mommy issues, in the sense that dealing with a man that blames his mother for everything, all his shortcomings in life. You know what I mean? And you know, the question that you asked Sheena, as far as what does that look like, you know, when you have your own issues that you're dealing with, then on top of that, you deal with somebody with these issues. It's like 2 demons that just don't mesh. You know what I mean? It just don't mesh.
It's
and
equally yoked.
it doesn't mesh. And this is why experience is so important, because looking back, the red flags was screaming. But when you don't have anything to compare it to, you don't know better. When you know better, you do better. You know, I would never forget, like, I was in a relationship, where the mother, she was a single parent of 4 sons. She had all boys. And, she and the father split up at a young age, and literally he blamed his mother for a lot of stuff. And I remember as we got, closer with each other, and I developed a relationship with her, we would talk on the phone all the time, sometimes for hours. I would talk to his mother for hours on the phone, and she would always tell me, and that was a red flag back then, but I didn't catch it. She would always tell me, like, I'm so glad he found you, because now he could stop blaming me for everything. That was a red flag. I didn't know it.
It's the lack of accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He never took accountability for anything. It was that consciously, I don't think so. Some people, because they don't do the internal work, it's like they project everything is always somebody else's fault. It's never their own fault.
And
so
lack of accountability,
right. But
put it on you, be like, you gonna fix it.
Exactly. Right. And that's the thing, like, she's island, old school, they got their own issues, and all that emotional stuff, like, they don't really touch on that. They don't really help their kids through stuff like that. And dealing with him, it became a nightmare. Like, he could be the sweetest person in the world, but on the flip side of that, it was like Jekyll and Hyde. Like, because he viewed his mother in a certain light and he blamed her for everything, I was now that moving target. So it was like, I'm the one stressing him out. I'm the one that's this, like, now the blame that was projected onto her, all of a sudden, all of that blame and frustration was projected onto me. Just and it became, yes, and it was so toxic, because, like I said, it's a Jekyll and Hyde situation where they could be the sweetest people in the world, but on the flip side of that, it's like living in hell, because they can be very disrespectful. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because a man that does not respect his mother does not have respect for you. Right. That's what it boils down to. The image he has of his mother is the image that's going to be projected onto you. And God forbid that's not a positive image. That's what you're going to get out of him. You know what I mean? So a lot of the negative emotions that he had towards his mother, when we were in the thick of it, it was projected onto me. And when I say 2 demons that don't mesh, because when you get into that disrespectful manner, my demon don't accept disrespect. So then it's like, now we going toe to toe for real, because you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. You know what I mean? And it's so important. Like, that's a huge red flag. Whenever you're dealing with somebody, pay attention to the role their mother play in their life, because that's going to determine the type of relationship that he has with you. When men have overbearing mothers, just understand that they're going to be inserted into your relationship every chance they get. If they don't have a good relationship with their mother, they didn't grow up with love and care, they're going to treat you with disrespect. And that's just how it is. And I don't think that comes on a conscious level. If you didn't do the work, you don't even identify the problem. So this is why it's important to do the work. Now, I also had a male that, his mother inserted herself in situations. And me, I'm very introverted. And I remember I was dealing with this dude, and we had stopped by his mother's house, and he was like, well, you're not gonna come in and say hi to my mother? I'm like, I don't want to come in and say hi to your mother. You know what I mean? Not in a disrespectful way, but because I'm so reserved. And you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to meet your mother kind of thing. You know what I mean? But anyway, as where, because of his demanding me going in to see his mother and speak, I succumbed and I got out the car. And that's where walking towards the house, the mother was walking out the house at the time. And, she approached us and, at the time, well, he was high yellow, like really light skinned. And I remember like the first thing, said hi, but the first thing that came out of her mouth in meeting me was, he had a red mark on his neck. The first thing she said to me in meeting me, which left a bad taste in my mouth, was, don't be leaving no hickeys on his neck. Your son is a grown-ass man. You don't need to tell me what I need to do with him. And she made it a point to like kiss him in front of me, like I'm not in competition with you. You know what I mean? And then like after that uncomfortable situation and getting the perspective of it later on, I was like, so the way she presented it, because I guess at the time the mother of his child was pulling up the same time as we were pulling up. And I guess that was her whole reason for wanting to meet me outside, because I guess she must have thought I was one of those where I'm in competition with the girls. So I never met this girl. I don't know what she looked like. I had no knowledge of this woman. So she called herself, I guess, meeting us outside, because I guess she took it as me wanting to rub the relationship in the baby mother's face or something like that, when I didn't even want to get out of the car from the jump. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had to dig in his ass. I was like, well, I hope you corrected your mother, being as though I didn't even want to get out of the car. You making it seem like I was so pressed to get in the house and, parlay in front of her like I got something she don't. You know what I mean? When I have never met this girl a day in my life and I didn't want to get out of the car. So I hope you checked your mother in that situation. But of course he didn't, and then like as time went on, she, because we're in Baltimore, she would always refer to me like, how's Miss Baltimore doing? You know what I mean? Like on some real kind of disrespectful type of, yes. But
we live in the metropolitan area of Baltimore. Okay?
Yes. How's Miss Baltimore doing?
Dummy.
So, girl, yes.
I edit that shit out. That just made me mad.
Girl. And that's how I felt. I felt very angry considering I'm the introvert here. I didn't even want to get out of the car to go speak. And the fact that after the fact, I found out that she wanted to make it seem like I was so pressed to get into her house and, parlay in front of this girl who I never met, didn't know who she was, never saw her a day in my life. It rubbed me the wrong way. Like, this is what your mother think of me? But yeah.
First of all, that's what we was talking about in that BWH 2 cents. Okay. When we had the nephew write into us about his situation, about his girlfriend. And we were telling him he needed to defend his girlfriend's honor if that's who he loved unconditionally. In the most conditional human way possible. You gotta defend your woman's honor. I'll tell Omar any day, look, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, son. You gotta defend her honor. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that mom that always has an issue with every girl he brings in there. But I'm gonna be honest about what I see because I've lived longer than him. This lady ain't never been in your presence more than 30 minutes and she's making assumptions about you. That's not longer. That's my issue. As a Libra, as a sun and rising Libra, I gotta be in company with someone at least for 6 to 8 hours to make any kind of assumptions whether I'm right or wrong. I'm the lady with the balancing beams trying to find fairness and justice in all things. So I'm going to look at all three sides, my side, their side, and the truth, trying to find out what the truth is. That's my superpower, being able to differentiate all the different sides, okay? And that's the problem that I have with mothers, especially in our Black communities, because the mothers hold on to the sons like she fucking them.
Right.
Yep. Don't worry, you guys. My baby's gone. My baby's gone.
That's that Oedipus complex.
That's like that TikTok I posted on Facebook. I don't know if y'all saw it, where the psychologist and the counselor was going deep into why mothers are the way they are with their sons, based on their history with being a single mother. Single motherhood makes women think that they can treat their sons like boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a subconscious thing. They're not even thinking about
It's
it.
really an unhealthy dynamic.
It's really, really, really unhealthy dynamic. But she says she sees it a lot in the Black community because of the single motherhood culture. And I got family members who praise themselves for being single mothers. I don't subscribe to none of that shit. And if they come to me, that's why they don't come to me. Because if they come to me, they know they're going to hear the real shit. Like, yo, you fucking wrong. You shouldn't have had that baby for that man because he wasn't ready. And he told you when you first found out he was pregnant that he wasn't fucking ready. And you went ahead and had that baby for that man any fucking way. The only way you can heal is deal with the shit that got you in the position that you in right now. So it ain't just about him having his mommy issues, as we all know, because she already said she's had to deal with a man with mommy issues while also dealing with her own mommy issues. Same with Cheyenne. We got to get real about this healing stuff, y'all.
Yeah, not a trend.
Right.
Friend, niece, this, auntie, whoever, you wrong. You dead the F wrong. This is not normal. We make it normal, but it ain't normal. Because that was the original question about whether they know whether it's normal or not.
Right. I don't.
It's normal because that's what they do.
Right. I just don't think a lot of people do it on a conscious level, because when I started taking a look at myself, it's like repeated cycles of the same situations, and then understanding that the common denominator in each of these situations is me. You know what I mean? So when you're dealing with each person and they keep mirroring the same shit to you and they're telling you like, did it? And then after a while, it's like, damn, everybody keeps saying the same shit. At what point do you start looking at you? Because eventually you could keep running from relationship to relationship to relationship, but I guarantee you somewhere down the line, the same problem is going to show up if you don't deal with it. It's going to show up again. It don't matter. You could switch partners 1,000 times. The problem is going to show up if you don't deal with it. And
go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, and that's where I was at as far as, having to take accountability for my own shit, because the problem kept showing up and it was the same problem repeatedly. And I had to eliminate them and pay attention to me.
Here's a flip side to that, family. Because I'm somebody who's always had both her mother and her father in their life. Now, although my parents weren't always married the entire of my existence, but they've always been present, okay? The flip side of that is having a mother who is very nurturing and there. She shows the F up more than anybody, okay? And then having a father who shows the F up too. But I told you guys a couple episodes, and my father's kind of mean a little bit back in the day. He's not as mean now because he's old. He get a little older.
They soften up a little bit.
Soften up a little bit. You know what I mean?
From a 7 down
He
to
was
a
mean
3.
as fuck. But my father, me and my sister talk about it all the time. Our father was mean as fuck, but he showed the F up. If one of our mothers called and said we wasn't in the house when we supposed to be there, he pulling up. He pulling up. He gonna come find your ass, okay? And he's one of them kind of dads, okay? So
like my dad.
The flip side of that is having both parents available to you to catch you when you fall, but then still finding yourself in the midst of a situation where the man has mommy issues. Because guess what? We're going to meet different people at different points in our lives with different situations and different lives that we've lived. So don't think that because you've had both parents present that it can't happen to you. It can absolutely happen to you. Because if you're any kind of spiritual, if you're any kind of clairaudient like I am, any kind of clairvoyant like Salita or Sheena or Cheyenne or Ashley, if you're any kind of a spiritual person, people with trauma are going to flock to you. That's why you got to be on guard a little bit. just to look out for the red flags, because you know if you're looking for a man or a wife, if you're in the same sex relationship, and you say, look, I'm past this point. I didn't heal from this. So I know this person ain't for me because they're dealing with some ish that I'm past. And they looking to me for healing, thinking that that it's supposed to be a relationship. Because that's what happens a lot of times. They come to you looking for a relationship, when really you just supposed to help them. And that's what last week the 2 weeks ago episode about loving the lesson and not the blessing. That's how we end up with the lesson and not the blessing, because they were sent to you for you to help them move past their trauma as an empath.
Yep. And what happens because we're empath, we freaking start trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding. Come on, Cheyenne, with the psychological terms, man. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're looking to you to replace the void. Same thing when we talk about Black girl daddy drama. We look to our men to replace the void. If you had a father like mine that was a little mean, then you look for a man that's really, really nurturing. But then you got to know the balance between that thing and whether it's the right relationship with you, because you don't want to become so dependent on that thing where you don't even have the ability to think for yourself. It's the same thing, you guys. So,
yeah, like you had said before, you know, the healing part of it is so important, but people get so asphyxiated on the end result of being healed that they miss out on the whole damn process journey. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but you can make it as hard as you want it to be, because resistance is futile. Yes, I went Star Trek on y'all. Live long and prosper. But you're supposed to not only enjoy the process, but really dig deep into who you are. When you look in the mirror, do you know who you're looking at? Are you looking at a person who has failed to grab the concept of who you are? I am. Did you grab the concept? Did you take time to digest it? Did it taste good to you? If not, guess what? You're not ready yet. You got to keep on healing. So until you get to that point where you can look in the mirror and says, I am healed, I am this, I am that, etc., 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 you will start to live a totally different existence.
Yep.
So when something comes up as a trigger, you'll be thankful for that damn trigger, because that was your alarm clock to wake the hell up.
But we get so caught up in the package.
Yes.
Just like we were saying in loving the lesson in lesson instead of the blessing, like the lesson looks a lot like the blessing. And it can trick you and it can fool you, and you're not supposed to feel bad about it. It is what it is. Exactly. It's going to look a lot like the blessing. It's going to look, you guys, when I tell you,
until you realize like you failed another test.
Yeah.
And let's not even call it failing, right? Let's call it unsuccessful, because that means we have one chance to do it right the F again. Okay.
Keep digging to find that hidden potential. Just like my sister used to say, God doesn't make weak shit. You know, we put that down. We make ourselves think that I'm not worthy to do this, that, or I can't. Nah, scratch all that the hell out. God don't make no junk. God don't make no weak shit. You have hidden potential, but in order to get to that hidden potential, you gotta dig. You gotta heal. Get your shovel. It's a one man or one woman show. Let's get to going. Because that whole time, if y'all ain't never pick up a shovel, go pick up one of them old fashioned shovels from Home Depot or Lowe's.
Make sure you're subscribed.
And start digging.
You following the show right now. Because we digging, baby. We gonna dig. We gonna have our libations, our macchiatos, our water, our marijuana, all those things. But we gonna heal in the midst of this.
Right.
Get that shovel.
Okay. We Black women healing any way and how we can. That's what y'all gotta understand. Y'all can't look at the show title and think that we're gonna do it one way. Okay. This is the way we doing it here.
Yeah.
Get into
And you also have to be willing to let go of everything that you fear to lose. You
boom.
know, I think with me, I used to hold on to, situations so tight, knowing that it was no good for me. And I created more damage in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in a lot better space as far as healing. It's like I'm to the point now where I'm not so scared to let go of what no longer serves me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could wish you the best and keep it moving instead of trying to hold on, trying to make pieces of a puzzle fit that don't go together. Because the longer you hold on, the more damage you do. You have to be willing to let go of everything that you fear to lose, because when you hold on, that's the need to want to control how your life goes, but we have no control. So, because we can't control the actions of other people, we can't. So, you have to be willing to let go of everything that you fear to lose and let life happen and go along for the journey. That's all you could do, because we can only control ourselves. And that's the most important thing of this self-discovery journey. You only have control of you, nobody else.
And that's the forefront of any relationship, whether it's friendships, business ships,
Mm-hmm.
sexual, intimate relationships. You can only control you, baby. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You can't make nobody want it as much as you do, as passionately as you do.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Okay? Nothing at all. And what I was going to say while Shane was talking, it made me think about the fact that at the end of the day, friend, family, we have to not only keep each other accountable, but also if we're focused on ourselves, like we've been saying this last 6 months, if we are focused on ourselves, we don't have time to pick apart anybody else, whether it's a friendship or long-term partnership. The spirit, God, and the universe will point certain things out to us, and it's up to us to take action, right? Keyword action. But I feel like if you're working on yourself, like Sheena told y'all a couple of episodes ago when she was explaining to us why she was doing the cleanse, I think it was right before Soul Ties. She was explaining to us why she wanted to do a cleanse. And she was saying, I just want to radiate differently and present a part of myself that I always know God. Basically, what she was saying is that I know I have a part of myself that I want to present to the world, but I don't know how to go about doing it. So I need spirit to help. I need God to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before, Soul Ties. And she was just, I just got to do something different. So if you want to get a different result, family, you got to do some different shit.
Mm-hmm. Lean not your own understanding.
Boom. Y'all forgot. How y'all be forgetting all these Bible verses? Y'all be in church every Sunday. Cause I ain't been in nobody's church but except for a funeral in 2 years. Okay? Get it together, y'all. Y'all be in early week and y'all forget. Y'all still forget. And that's no shame. But what's the point of going to the church house if you ain't gonna remember nothing that the pastor or the Bible didn't taught you? You could do better all by yourself at home and read it on your own time. But you do what you need to do. You show up the way that you need to show up. The way I practice spirituality and stuff may not be the way you practice or the way we practice it. It's no right way to do this thing, you guys. It really is not.
It's really not.
There's no right way to do spirituality and be connected to highest source in God. There's no right way.
Yeah, and I think, too, what happens is a lot of times we try to separate ourselves from the entity when we're all in actuality one. And it doesn't matter how perfect your situation seems. You could have 2 parents, 1 parent, no parents. You could be rich, poor. It doesn't matter. It's like at the end of the day, we all have something that we need to recover and heal from. Period.
Because you can have all parents in the house, but what about those fathers who fuck their daughters?
Exactly. But what about people that have money, like all these celebrities that you see committing suicide, and everybody is like, well, they got money. Like, why don't you have a reason to live? Because money is not everything. Everybody have their demons that they're dealing with. So it doesn't matter how much in the public eye you are. Like, at the end of the day, we're all human beings and everybody is trying to recover from something. So we're a lot more alike than different.
A lot more like. And at the end of the day, too, to add on to what Cheyenne is saying, the only thing keeping us separated is demographics, earnings, and where the F we live. Okay.
Yeah, because society has created those
barriers,
but in actuality, none of those barriers are barriers. It's just something, it's invisible barriers that they have created, but we are all the same people. We are.
Yeah. We bleed red. We all bleed red. Now, although there may be some genetic differences between all of us because of how life on Earth as we know it created and started, that's a whole different topic.
Right.
A whole different mother effing day. Okay, you guys.
Listen.
And who
that's another rabbit hole.
Humans come from. Okay. When y'all ready to have that discussion, put it in the podcast survey. Okay. We'll have the discussion.
Ashley, what's going on with you tonight? You quiet over there.
Ashley don't, she trying to keep it lighthearted. That's what she told us.
Right.
I'm just listening. I ain't gotta be mouth almighty every night.
I like to hear your voice.
Baby, we love when you sing, Ashley. Come on and sing to us, baby. Come on.
This is not singing about mama, daddy. I don't even know what to call these guys.
I was thinking about Papa was a Rolling Stone.
No, I don't Mama want no scrub.
Come on,
I can't.
Come on, sing scrub.
If you don't have a car and you're walking, oh yes, boy.
Yes, she go. I can't.
If you live at home with your mama, oh yes, boy.
I can't.
Okay. If you live at home with your mama, if you can't get up your mama tit, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Ashley's back up tonight. Oh, yes,
okay.
Right. Yo, that song used to get a lot of men triggered.
Yes, they would be mad.
Remember when, exactly, they got triggered. But remember when they came out with the opposite? They were so triggered, they came up with a whole song. No pigeons. They were triggered. Right.
This is what y'all need to look out for.
Don't be
as we in closing.
And putting who you like
loved one that
Instagram.
you are trying to build a relationship with and have long-term companionship with. This is what it's going to look like and how it manifests. One, they can be controlling. Okay, we all have a little controlling ways, but this is going to be out of the norm. This is going to be like controlling times 10,000. Okay, they're two going to be narcissistic. Okay, they want to be babied, and or they may even be submissive because they're used to being submissive to them.
We didn't even talk about that kind of man.
They also will be insecure.
Yeah, definitely insecure.
Lack of emotional intelligence, low self-esteem, and they may
low vibrational.
Who is older than they are, and boom, they always try to act and listen. And y'all don't have to believe me. This is what white people say.
Yeah,
white people say on the studies. Okay.
Damn, y'all, we didn't even talk about that. The men that's been coddled by their mothers and they expect their woman to be their damn mother and treat them like a damn big grown ass.
I talked about that.
She touched on it a little bit.
Jesus, that's the worst.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, but we got time. Where we going?
Right.
Okay.
I think we could get 2 episodes out of this. Like the hell, we done went off on a whole different tangent.
Speak
We,
on
we could get
it.
2. We could chop and screw.
Right.
And if you're still listening, thank you and
Right.
watching. Hit that bell and subscribe.
Right. I was waiting on it. I was waiting on it.
To just let myself out. The moment wasn't right
She's
earlier.
up.
So intense
She's awoke.
about these mama's days.
We're gonna go back to
You're
what
so
the church
goddamn
called earlier
goofy.
today, and we're gonna take our collection at this moment. At this
I
moment
like
in time,
to
we're gonna take
laugh,
our
y'all.
collection.
Life is serious enough.
The collection is here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the one you love has mommy issues, we can't tell you what to do because we are not mental health therapists and we're psychologists on this line with you. Okay. So you have to determine, family, how you are going to go about the situation. Okay. Either you can have patience and sit back and see what happens. You can cut the relationship, or you can recommend that they go to therapy.
He needs therapy.
I recommend
Get help.
therapy.
Get
Especially
help.
when you're someone who needs it has mommy issues.
I second that motion.
Yeah.
Get help. Cut the umbilical cord.
You might need therapy too, depending on how long you've been with him and putting up with all that.
Right. Especially
Because
if he's a narcissist.
Right. And
Yep.
he probably enabled a lot of his behavior if you've been with him for a long time. So
but it can get
that bullshit way too high.
Find someone to talk to. Find a couch. Look, find a couch. Find a couch near you.
Right.
I won't judge you.
Right.
Because it can get ugly. Oh, before it gets beautiful.
Ashley.
Chris Bradley. And y'all know he's toxic ass motherfucker.
I gotta support as much as I sang. You know what I'm saying? Sang that
we
thing.
told y'all.
Doop, doop.
You know what I say is get up on them chakras, meditate on them from the rooter to the tutor. Okay.
The rooter to the tutor. That's the whole damn thing.
That's what my mother used to say, from the root to the motherfucking tutor. Okay.
I don't want no more hot dogs. I don't want none of that shit. I don't want no rooter to the tutor.
Delete all that.
Family. Make sure y'all following us on Instagram. Y'all act like y'all not on these platforms. I don't get it.
Don't care. Follow us on. Hit that bell and subscribe. That's where I want y'all to follow us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
BlackWomenHealShow.com. BlackWomenHealShow.com.
Right.
Take the survey.
We're everywhere.
We out here.
Yes.
We out here.
Yeah.
We love you, baby. We love you. Okay.
And before we go,
we
just to hit you with a little bit of the spiritual shit.
Yes, let's see what's going on with that.
Earlier, I shuffled the cards. This one card popped out from the Sacred Geometry Activation Oracle.
That should be reading all the way.
And the card that actually came out was allowance, number 9. A lot of times 9 is a symbol for new beginnings. And at the bottom of the card, I'm going to show the card for our lovely YouTube subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for, but you can go ahead and hit that button. And as you can see, if you're subscribed, that green also represents the heart chakra.
Right.
So it says here at the bottom of the card, the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. But, in the book, it really does talk about, being in this image that resembles the spirit of the Joker, the jester, or the fool. And as you know from the fool, whether it's somebody that you think is a fool or a crazy, one thing about them, they may talk a whole bunch of stuff, but one thing they don't have on them is a lot of shit. Life.
So you're stupid.
Like, they're not the bag lady like Erykah Badu.
Guess what else they don't have?
What?
A high vibration.
Boom.
You know what, Ashley? But believe it or not, in the major arcana in the tarot deck, the Fool is actually one of the highest cards. Believe it or not.
Is it because
It
they're
really
open?
is.
Are they more open than we are?
The
Why is
Fool?
that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that they're
They
not
don't give a
carrying
fuck?
anything.
They're willing to
Pretty
take
much.
a leap of faith.
They take
take
the
a
risk,
risk.
right? That boom,
Yeah.
I knew it. Just like the Joker.
Okay.
That's why the Joker
That's the
was so
Aries
successful.
card.
Mm-hmm. So
That
it is
touches
the
forward.
embodiment, and also it says here, and also in the embodiment of the infinite spirit within, the unbounded, fearless
Yeah,
essence
take
of
the leap.
expanded possibility with very little regard for conventionality or rules, aka zero fucks are given.
Just jump.
That sounds like some air sign shit. We be on our hippie shit.
Yeah, y'all sure do.
We just do what the fuck we want to do.
Just jump.
Disguised as the Fool, for real. But disguised as the Fool, the jester is oftentimes the bearer of unwanted truth, messages that are feared yet needed for evolution and growth. Allowance is the polar opposite of resistance. Sometimes the things we resist the most are the trials and hidden treasures, that hidden potential that lead to growth and evolution. The allowance image bears a certain resemblance to the butterfly. You know, a lot of times butterfly represents transformation. We go through the whole thing of everybody wants to get to the butterfly, but they don't want to go through that cocoon phase. That's so important.
They're trying to skip that all the time.
Yeah,
They just be trying to put a tip in. They just be trying to put a tip in. That's it. Right, Shay? They just be trying to put a tip in.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
just to put the tip in, baby.
After that card came out, another card from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck. Y'all some fools tonight.
Come on, Sylvia. Come on, talk.
So the last card, the card that came out of the Sacred Self-Care Oracle card was number 6. Build strength.
I thought we wasn't putting the tip in.
Build the strength. Yeah, I'm about to get back on my dumbbell game. Full body workout.
I was gonna say, is that a training bra?
That is a yes.
What the fuck? Really, Ashley? I
can see a training bra.
It looked like somebody's non-binary. It don't identify with no sex.
That's what I was seeing with a training bra on.
Right.
At least from here.
But the thing is,
I'm just trying to get
somebody that's neither male nor female. Look at somebody that's in between.
With the training bra.
The thing is, look closely at the card.
Sports bra. One of them damn. I meant to say sports bra. One of them damn bras.
One of the most important things that I noticed about this card is that whether it's a male or a female, that they are boxing, but their eyes are closed, but
her third eye open.
Third eyes open.
She need all he
I see that.
Or they see all they need to see.
Yep.
Exactly.
You don't need your eyes open when your real eye open. Okay.
Exactly. So they actually both cards kind of confirm each other, because in order for
everybody gonna just turn into a bird. That's
shut up. I'm not messing with you.
Okay, the card up, we'll fly away.
Another fly off.
I believe I
can back in these streets. Everybody just started pigeoning and shit.
Oh shit! A pigeon in the sheets.
I'm not with Ashley. Good night. Good night.
You know what?
Nobody's gonna take us seriously. We're not even getting any sponsorships, you guys.
I don't need to
Good night.
The Nelly Petardo.
In this, we need to be. Hey, we're healing. That's serious enough. Get it, Selena.
That's commercial break. We got our own commercial breaks.
Yeah, that was a commercial.
Right, that was a commercial, Mo. You just put, we doing everything I goddamn self, Mo. Chop and screw this into our own damn commercial. We taking our own commercial breaks. We taking our own commercial breaks. Fuck that sponsorship. we do it all.
That ain't both singing.
I can't.
Mariah and Whitney, they over there battling.
I cannot.
Butterflies. That's one of my grandmother's is around when the butterflies come on.
I can't.
That was my favorite insect.
I'm dead.
Sorry, Cindy, but we fucked it up.
So did we get everything?
We
Because
fucked
I don't know.
We fucked it up.
Y'all want to
Should've
turn into
all
some
fucked
damn pigeons in
I
the middle
can't.
of Selena's speech.
Like in Friday.
Damn
In
pigeon.
the chicken coop.
Yeah, it's like
Yo, I gotta put y'all into the pigeonry.
Shut up. I'm not doing this with Ashley. I'm not. She's off the screen now.
Oh shit.
I'm not. I'm not.
go over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, I ain't reaching number, no. I
everyone.
wanna get
What the? Yo, what is this?
It's a whole damn concert.
Right.
Hey yo.
I'm dead. I can't.
What
I
is wrong with
can't.
y'all?
Told them a
Not.
while back that we really was
podcast.
podcasting disguising as a girl group. Or the other way around. Girl group disguising as podcasters. Okay.
Right.
We're already gonna bust out with our banging shit once we're already banging. Okay. It's way faster to get people's attention podcasting these days than it is singing.
They're coming out with a CD.
Boom.
We're coming out with a
CD.
CD.
Exactly.
All right.
All the
My phone
YouTubers do it.
committing
Thank you,
suicide.
One
Cindy.
of them did it and it's fighting with all the
Even though we
rappers
didn't
and stuff.
cooperate this evening.
Right, Kelsey?
So these are the only ones sober on the line tonight.
Right, that's what happens. This is why we got to have some sober people on
Don't
the.
worry.
We
Will not be
If Selena had
drinking
been on last week's episode, she'd have been
on any
fucking
more.
done with us. Okay? She'd have been done.
Girl, right.
All right, you guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna say goodnight for the evening.
No
We love you.
behavior.
Black Women Hill Show, everywhere, anywhere that you can think of for streaming and video platforms. Okay, BlackWomenHillShow.com, BlackWomenHillShow.gmail.com. Make sure y'all take the survey so that we know what you like, what you don't like, and what you think we should do in the new year coming. Because look, we in the fourth quarter, baby. We here. It's time. We got to prepare.
Right.
And we like to be organized. Okay, so make sure y'all take that survey, tag the show notes, and take the survey. Let us know what you think, and also make sure that you follow, subscribe on your favorite platform, whether it's visual or audio, and make sure you
And
subscribe to the newsletter.
my favorite platform. Hit that bell and subscribe. Following your favorite and mine. YouTube.
You.
Homework assignment.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.